Yo, before we begin, you want to hear this bullshit? Fucking
Yeah.
all my students, like I have a group chat with like all my students from RCBC that are part of my that were in my summer institute that I ran.
Okay.
And there's this one kid, he's like African. I don't know exactly where he's from, so I don't want to be rude, but like I think, is he Nigerian? I'm not sure. But he talks the most shit, bro. He talks the most shit in the group chat about the Eagles, right? So I always hit him. I'm like, bro, your name's like, you have an African, like, are you like, have you been here for so long, right? So then I'm like, so at some point it comes up, right? He's like talking back and forth about it's been quiet in the group chat, all this shit, and I'm like dying laughing, right? I'm like, are you serious right now? Or are you playing? Are you for real? And then as we keep going, something brings it up with the conversation. We're in group me, so it's like all the students are seeing this. Oh, now you know how every all the Eagles fans are talking about this is what the people want our Eagles schedules to look like.
I did see that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's everywhere, right? Right now, like Thanos, God, da da. And I
Yeah.
was like, yeah. So I said, I think people were saying the same thing about the Cowboys in 2016. People will always say that it's a schedule that wins you, right? So and I was like, or are you a new fan and you're just figuring this out that this is an argument people use? He goes, in 2016, I was in 90-degree weather all year, drinking coconut water on the beach and plotting on females in my country. Didn't know the Cowboys nor Eagles, but now I do. And don't say I know the history. I don't know the history because the last time you were in the Super Bowl, Tupac and Biggie were still alive, and Parsons
Oh.
wasn't born yet. So I go, bro, you cannot talk. When did you come to this country? He goes, why does that matter? He keeps ducking the question, ducking the question, ducking the question. So I'm like, no, I just want to know, like, when did you become a fan? He goes, nah, it doesn't matter. I'm like, you're running from
No.
the answer,
I
bro.
know what
When
he's gonna
did you
say.
become
Yeah.
a fan? And he goes, you're right. I came a couple months before the Super Bowl win. So
My God. Yeah. I knew either that was coming or he even came like after that.
after, and
Like,
I was like, you can't argue with me. I was like, you cannot, you don't have the struggle. And he's like, you're right. I came a couple months. He's like, you're right. I came a couple months before the Super Bowl win, and up to this day, I still regret going to the parade. It was cold as fuck, but that doesn't mean
huh.
I didn't check out the history and dominate era. And then he was like, I don't like the Cowboys because since 1996, every year was their year, and I'm a trash talker and nasty one too. Been like this ever since I was spot on. I can't talk to you. Like, oh no,
Yeah.
I said I was born into this life. I was born into this struggle. You came into a Super Bowl win.
Yeah. Yeah. He wasn't through all the mud.
No, bro, you didn't. Like, you can't say at least you didn't deal with the heartbreak from was it 2008 when you guys won the Super Bowl? Oh,
No. Well,
oh,
no, 2004
four.
season.
Yeah,
But the other heartbreak, I think 2008 was when they lost NFC Championship game.
yeah, yeah. If you haven't at least been a fan since then, you can't talk
Yeah.
smoke.
Hell no.
You can
No.
talk a little bit, but you cannot talk smoke to me about
No.
like not that, like I'm talking about he's like his smack level is like he's a day one fan. Like that's how it is. And I'm like, you came into dynasty. Like you came
Yeah.
into winning, bro. I've never
Yeah.
seen winning. I've seen some playoffs where that's
That's
the
not.
problem with Eagles fans, man.
It is. I had the same problem with the Phillies. I think we talked about it last week. It was like every story I saw was everything Phillies. I'm like, these people, I've never even mentioned what a baseball is, let alone the Phillies. Like, I don't want to, again,
Oh
bandwagon, man.
my God. Oh, sis. Hey, welcome to another episode
Yeah,
of In
yeah.
Those We Trust podcast.
On that
My
note,
name is Malik Howard. Of course, I got my brother and my co-host with me, Liam, in
what's
the
up, Luke?
building. This is another episode of Trust Talk Sports. Oh, my bad about that. It was Kat is texting me. I have her returning a hoodie I got from Carhartt. His Carhartt sightings are crazy. Since you're talking about the Phillies,
Yep.
I'm gonna let you go into it. I want to know
Sure.
how this L feels,
Sure.
and I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna give you the floor because this is the last time we're talking about baseball for a while. So
Yeah.
go ahead.
I was going to say, listen, you've given me the floor to talk about the Phils for the past couple weeks now. Um, I'm a Philly guy through and through, and as a Philly fan, there's been a lot of heartbreak that we've seen. This was probably tops for me. I think when we started the show, It was beginning of the playoffs in baseball, and I think we both said the Astros were going to win. Like, it was inevitable. They are that good. They showed that they're that good. Man, there's something about this Phillies team. The ballpark was buzzing. You know, I know we just touched on it. Like, you walk out the door, everybody's in Phillies gear, Phillies hat, saying "Go Phils."
Yeah.
Like, it's awesome.
Yeah.
This is I've been on the city of Philadelphia is a baseball town, and when the Phillies are good, you really see that, and you know how crazy Eagles fans are. This is a baseball town, and
Wow, I
it
never
was cool
thought of
to
it
see
like that.
Yeah, and it was very cool to see again. You know, it was their first postseason in 11 years. You and I were in middle school, so we really didn't get to experience anything like this. But, you know, just between the group of guys that we talked about, just resembling the city, the dancing on my own song, the just having fun. Like, this past month of October has been fun, and I was fortunate enough to be at Game 5 on Friday.
How'd you get there?
On Thursday. Just through some connections, we're able to find tickets. But again, the atmosphere. Hot take. I've been to a lot of playoff games. I know we talked about it this year.
Mm-hmm.
This was by far, I think, the worst environment. Like, by far.
Really?
Yeah. I went to the opening series, both games against the Braves, electric. Went to a game against the Padres in the NLCS, electric.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to speak for everybody. I know you and I kind of talked about this. I feel like these fans in the World Series, it was more about who can afford it versus who are the real Philly fans. And again,
100%.
I was lucky enough to, you know, have the connections inside the building to try to, you know, not pay $1,500 for a ticket.
100%.
But I feel like that's what it was. It was a lot of, again, these fans that we talk about that, oh, crap, like Phillies baseball. Yeah, I got money to burn. Like, let's do it. It wasn't as loud. It wasn't as fun. I mean, it's the World Series, so don't get me wrong, but it was a heartbreaking, man. Saturday night, I was depressed. And again, logic tells you the Astros were the best team all year long. They were the best team. Yeah. I mean, you know, as a Yankees fan, they swept their way through the playoffs. Yeah, didn't even lose a damn game. I mean, made it easy. Phillies put up a good fight. I think what hurts the most is they had it. They were up 2-1 in the series with 2 home games left. Even Saturday night, you know, you felt like if they could win Game 6 somehow, you know, in sports, these Game 7s, anything can happen. So the logic tells you it was never the Phillies series to win, but everything that team was doing to get there, and even once they were there, you kind of talked yourself into this is the team to do it. So it was genuinely heartbreaking. I put this right up with, and maybe even past, as a Philly sports fan, the Kawhi shot that bounced around the ring 15 times. By far. And again, you know me, I'm a baseball guy first. Yeah. So I might not get a lot of agreement on that.
Yeah.
But this team just felt different. They could win the World Series next year. It's going to be awesome. But I mean, you know, in sports, sometimes you just get these lightning in a bottle teams, and just everything around it was just perfect. Mm-hmm. That's what this run was. So it was a fun month of October.
That's very interesting that I feel like your take on it is very perceptive. I have a huge Phillies fan at my job that I work with, and at every game we sit down, we talk for a little bit at the cubicle, and he was at that's who won in 2008. The Phillies won the World Series in 2008. He was at the World Series when they won it in there, right? And he talked about it being electric, and he said when he went to one of the games this year as well, at one of the games of the World Series at home, and he even said that you can tell that the fans that are there, they had the money for it, and that's the fans that have been going. Because he even said the woman in front of him was 2 women, and the rock on her finger, he was like, was massive. Oh, yeah. So it's like you're seeing that, like, it takes in my opinion, I think that there should be a cap on the price of the ticket that it should go in. It sucks that Ticketmaster is going to make its money regardless. Mm-hmm. The platform has to make its money. But we were thinking of ways in which that we can keep the true fans, it open for true fans to be there. And I feel like that should be a select, like the team owners, like they have a certain amount of tickets. They're not going to make the pricing. They're like, we're selling our tickets at this price. We have a select few. Line up outside, and if you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. And I want this section of fans in, let's say, dead center, all Phillies fans. Those are true fans that like paid the price, waited in line, have been waiting for these tickets, right? And that's what we're thinking of. And it's interesting that you bring up the point of like, is Philly these markets like New York, Philly, these big markets, like what sports franchise fans are they? I definitely feel like it's Phillies and Phillies, Sixers, and I see a lot of Flyers. When the Flyers are doing well as well, I see huge Flyers band up. But I agree. I think the Phillies thing, and what I see is the fans today, they don't care about. I would say, you know what? I say 75% of the fans are there for the parade, in my opinion. They're there for the turn up. Everyone I spoke to, they're like, well, this team at least should get a parade afterwards. No.
Yeah, hell no. I saw that take. I don't think anybody I knew, but, the fans that you see on Twitter and that get passed through. But I saw somebody come up and say, this team still deserves a parade. That's the biggest loser mentality I've ever heard of. And if they threw the Phillies a parade tomorrow for a good season, I would not be a fan anymore. That's just such loser talk.
Yeah. It's such a second place trophy where that's the problem with today's generation. We want to give parades for those that are in second place. So if you lose a chip, you don't. I'm sure Bryce Harper hasn't even went shopping yet. Bryce Harper was out shopping in fucking Cherry Hill at Trader Joe's the week of the World Series. I was like, oh man, like that. When I heard that people saw him there in Cherry Hill at Trader Joe's, I was like, oh, this motherfucker's relaxed. They might actually win this shit. Yeah. I was like, he's calm.
And it was one of these things too that, again, we've talked about it ad nauseum at this point, but the Philly fans and how passionate they truly are, whether love them or hate them, you can't deny the fact that they are truly passionate. When I saw that, and again, when I say is when these players were really embracing the city, like they were enjoying it, man. Like Bryce definitely went to the Trader Joe's in Cherry Hill to like get his props. I'm sure everyone was going up to him, maybe not to like harass him, like, hey, can I get an autograph? Can I get a picture? But to be like, yo, go Phils, like, let's do this damn thing. Those guys were having fun with it all along the way. The core group, will still be there. I do think they're going to add pieces. I do think they're going to be back in the postseason. I think the toughest part, again, as in any sport, no matter how good a team is, it's hard as shit to get back to the big dance in any sport. So that's my only worry is they may have another couple of really good postseason runs, but fall short. But at least you still have the core there. This team has a taste. They're going to come back hungry next year. So get me to baseball season. But like I said, man, it definitely Saturday night that TV went off and it was just a deflating feeling.
Yeah. I think back like throughout all this series, and I think about this last game when it all fucking mattered. Did coaching affect the win of this game? We all talk about the decision, lefty versus righty. Did coaching fuck up this game to whereas, baseball today is it's computer generated, right? We understand and we have the numbers. Sometimes it fucks you over. Sometimes it's all about gut decision. The numbers can get in the way of, no, I believe that this pitcher can win this one or what it may be. Hey, who knows? Maybe he home runs the next whoever pitches, right? The next at bat. But what, in your opinion, do we see coaching affect this finally in this series?
Yeah, and I couldn't agree any more with what you just said. And when Thompson pulled our starting pitcher Zach Wheeler, instantly I was getting texts. I was texting everybody, like everyone I knew that was diving in. Again, the real Philly fans.
Yeah.
Bad move. And it's just what you said. Analytics in sports, they have a place, but it makes me sick to my stomach when these guys make moves purely on that. And that's what it was. Now, Rob Thompson, our manager, love him. He pulled all the right strings to even get them to this point. So this was purely a rookie head coach that made a mistake. And he had a plan. He saw what his numbers told him. But just what you said, I have my best pitcher on the mound in an elimination game. There's no shot I'm taking him out. If he lets up the 2, 3, 4 runs, whatever it was, I can live with that because that's my guy. That's my guy that I threw out there to try to get us to another game. The analytics told him get that lefty on lefty matchup. The guy he brought in had a great postseason.
Yeah.
But again, man, like you just said, sometimes it's a feel for the game. He was in a little bit of a jam. But I'm sticking with my guy, and we knew it was a mistake as soon as it happened. Then the big home run got hit, and it was kind of just like once that happened, as good as this team's been, the comebacks that they've had, that was just like that's it. It's like we had 3 innings to really like dive in. Okay, well that's going to be it.
Yeah,
but it was just an overthought by a rookie head coach.
Yeah, I wonder what if he doesn't and the next one is a home run? And as a manager, you always deal with that. You always deal, as a head coach, you deal with, okay, I either deal with I made a great decision, or the decision I made leads us to losing, or the fact that I didn't make a decision on something, the outcome goes out your way. So, I mean, that's just something you have to deal with as a manager. And they've made a lot of moves already, right, in the offseason. You have a couple pitchers that have left. There's a lot of movement going on. So that's the thing. People don't understand when it comes to a team making the World Series. In the NFL, like, I mean, when the LA Rams won it, they were all fucking in. That's the first, like, it paid off. You're all in. Yeah. And you don't have this team coming back. You don't have the same players coming back. So it's like we're all in to win or not, because next year shit's going to change. I mean, immediately, the day after, shit changes.
Yeah, and I think they're going to be all in. There's rumors that they're going to attack one of the top free agents, Trey Turner, who's a shortstop, which would be huge. So again, they're no stranger to spending, obviously. But you're right. I mean, it moves quickly, and there's a couple guys that might not be there next year that really held a place in our hearts as fans, and it's unfortunate. It's the nature of the beast. But you're right. I mean, shit is constantly in motion, and I guess we'll see how this offseason goes.
What about my boy from the Angels? What do you think's going on with him?
Who? Mike Trout?
Mikey boy. Do you think he's looking to come over?
I don't know. I probably not at this point.
What's his contract at?
It's for the next 8 to 10 years over there.
Yeah,
so he's not coming here.
Yeah.
Angels have some thinking to do. That dude Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah.
There's a lot of trade rumors with him just so they can kind of retool. But I think this offseason in baseball is going to be one of the crazier ones that we've seen.
Yeah. Really? Mm-hmm. I'll keep a lookout. Anything else you want to speak on that one, man?
No. I mean, again, it was an awesome ride. I think the better team won.
Okay. Hey, that's hard. That's a hard pill to swallow.
It is.
I wouldn't take that easy. All right, I want to move to the weekend of craziness.
Yeah, really.
College football. Let's go over the scores. We have Ohio State beating Northwestern 21-7. TCU beats Texas Tech 34-24. Georgia beats Tennessee 27-13. Notre Dame beats Clemson 35-14. The rankings, I did this yesterday, but I think they're still the same. Georgia 1, Ohio State 2, Michigan 3, TCU 4, Tennessee 5.
Yep.
So I want to begin with the Ohio State game. So as I was watching, as the Ohio State game was on behind me, I was recording a podcast, so I wasn't too aware of exactly what was going on.
Right.
You text me and it's what's going on? I'm like, dude, I'm not watching right now. What's happening? So I immediately, as soon as I finished, I run over. I'm looking at the TV, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? I just think, again, it was one of those games, right? It was the Georgia versus Missouri experience. But, and it's an excuse. When you throw a weather like that into a game, the winds were crazy. I could try to find a video and include it here of the field goal kicker trying to kick a 45-yard field goal, and it just immediately stops in the air. It was ridiculous. The conditions were not meant for it. Now, what I can say is with this game, going back, I missed the first quarter and a half. What this game did expose, without a running game, and without a passing game, our running game is inefficient. We have no running game without that factor. If our passing game doesn't open up, we have no run game, and that's a huge key for a lot of teams going into it. If you can stop the pass, we have nothing. We don't have the offensive line. It doesn't open up our playbook. But immediately when we have our passing, we have Stroud on key. We have that RPO open. There's no one that can mess with us, and I think this is a one-off game. I mean, what did Northwestern have to lose besides they play in those conditions? So I wasn't too concerned with it. This is where I think why we have no issue with Michigan, and this is why. Michigan going into halftime is always down. In the most part, we go into halftime up, not tied, and up with some points. And the fact that we can show that we come out second half and still go up and put up some points and hold a team to 7, I don't see us struggling with Michigan whatsoever, even though this is a weird one-off game, in my opinion.
Yeah. No, I mean, I caught a little bit of the Ohio State game. Like you said, the conditions were crazy. I mean, I get it. Northwestern had to play in it too, though. So it was a battle nonetheless.
Home. They're home though.
Yeah, I guess, but it's Northwestern. I mean, come on. I
I'm saying
think,
conditions. That's
yeah,
their conditions.
that's true. It is the Big Ten though, so you're going to play in shit.
Yeah.
But
Sure.
I think we've talked about Michigan before. I think I'm kind of turning the tide. I think this Michigan team this Michigan Ohio State game is going to be a dogfight. And if I'm an Ohio State fan, I think I'd be a little more worried than you are right now.
Nah,
Yes, there's something to be said about maybe coming out slow in the first half, but to turn it on in the second half to make those adjustments and to really just roll over teams has been something to at least be proud of. I mean, they did it again this past weekend. I think they killed Rutgers. Again, it's Rutgers, so who really, cares? But I think that Ohio State, Michigan at the end of the year, it's going to be close. It's going to be really close, and I really would not be surprised if Michigan pulled it off.
I mean, of course I'm gonna be a biased fan. I still have us winning. It's always fuck Michigan. But this is where I say Michigan, in my opinion, only has a run game. They only had a little short. I forget his name. Little short kid. Once we stop the run, and our run defense is top notch. We have a run defense and an off the defensive line that has been able to compete, hold teams up. I have no concerns. All we have to do is hold them there. I don't see anyone on their defensive side being able to stop Harrison. I don't see anyone being able to catch Stroud. I think that Stroud and I think that our run offense has to become so much better before that game. If we still have no run offense, I'm fearful. I would say we can't rely heavily just on the pass, and that's what we've been doing so far. If we need to win a game, let's throw it up. We can get 2 touchdowns and win a game, but we have to be a complete team to beat Michigan because Michigan is a complete team. It's going to be a dogfight. Either way, we stay in the playoffs. I mean, we stay in the playoffs. Maybe we can get our payback, but it still is. You want to end the year with you beat Michigan. The only reason Harbaugh even has a job right now is because of the Ohio State win, and I hate Harbaugh and stuff. Did you see the Georgia versus Tennessee game?
I saw a little bit of it, and
Okay.
I think, to be honest with you, it showed a little bit more about who Georgia is, maybe versus who Tennessee is.
Yeah.
Tennessee's a really good football team. They very well may make it in the playoff.
Mm-hmm.
Like this loss, you kind of look at it. Well, they dropped 2 spots. I guess they were number 1, but I mean, one slip up from TCU, the Ohio State Michigan loser might not get in.
Mm-hmm.
Like they very well may get into the playoff. I think it really just speaks to how good this Georgia team is.
Joe, Georgia surprised me. Like I was like that quarterback. Georgia Stetson. He surprising. I was like, oh, in my opinion, Georgia's taking it all. Even though I want Ohio State to take it all, I was like, this is Georgia's year. This is who I don't see who can stop them. I don't see anybody fucking being able to stop them.
No.
And did you see that that Tennessee fans leaked his phone number?
I did.
The whole time he's getting called, and he's just he's getting called throughout the night from fans, and I love that about college football. If you ever watched the documentary on the U, it was Miami versus who was it? Was it Notre Dame? I don't know.
Notre Dame, the convicts versus Catholics.
Yeah. They were calling each other in the hotel room. In the hotel room, they got to the U was like, we're gonna fuck you up tomorrow. So that right there in itself, I love that about college football. That's what you'll get college football. And then when he scores doing the phone thing, it's that's the swagger I love to see, bro. I love to see that shit.
It is. I think, like you just said, it really does feel like it's Georgia's year again. I mean, you look at what they were last year, just dominant. And yeah, they've had a couple slip ups. You brought up the Missouri game earlier.
Yeah.
But man, when it really mattered, I mean, this was a Tennessee team that put up 50 plus on Bama, that just destroyed, like we talked about last week, a good Kentucky team. And I don't even think the score resembles how close the game was. I don't think that was a 2-touchdown game, which is what it finished as. But when it started, I mean, Georgia was all over them. It could have gotten ugly quick.
Yeah. I mean, that Tennessee game, in my opinion, it kind of showed us what Tennessee is lacking when like if they
Hmm.
were to go against the old Alabama, if they go against the old Bama of how Bama used to be, because in my opinion, Bama's on like this is it, I'm telling you, this NIL deal shit is showing a little something. It's kind of strange as following this season of NIL deals getting put into place. So I love to see this. I love to see the new teams. Georgia's hanging in there. Georgia, that head coach, he's making a program
Yeah.
for something. He's speaking some volumes on
Oh
who
yeah.
it is. But to me, the biggest surprise, and I wish I watched this game, was Notre Dame Clemson. That to
Hmm.
me, it can be a overturn of a program to where at the beginning of the season it was just fucked. Like Notre Dame's season
Yep.
was dogged over. It was done for. This is a cap on the season that could lead into next season. Like, yo, we beat a Clemson team. We put up 35 on a Clemson team. It was 35-14. I wish I watched this game, but I was highly surprised when I was like going back, like, holy shit. And the
Hmm.
biggest thing, oh, do you want to say something else? I'm sorry.
No, I guess just touching on the Clemson Notre Dame. I
Did you watch
was
it?
and I didn't watch all of it. I saw a bit of it. I was and I wasn't surprised. Um, I think we need to start having the conversation on this Clemson program being Deshaun Watson and Trevor Lawrence, and just having two of the best college football quarterbacks we've seen in the past decade or two.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Notre Dame, young head coach. So you're right. This is exactly what you want to see. Got off to a rough start. I mean, you have
Yeah.
these expectations. It does look like your team's getting better. You look at the teams that they've lost to, for them to handle Clemson
That's
the
what
way
I'm
that they
saying.
handled Clemson. You brought up Bama and their struggles. I don't think Bama's like done yet. I think you look at their losses and how they've lost. It's completely different from Clemson. Clemson's had brought in their backup quarterback the past 3 or 4 games, maybe. Like they don't even believe in their guy. So I
No.
think that program, I think Clemson's in a little bit of trouble. So, I mean, it again, they had some studs at that program, but I'm not so sure, like you just mentioned, how long they can maybe keep this up.
No, I don't. I don't think. Fuck. I wish I would never know the Clemson quarterback. Ever since last year, I wasn't
Mhm.
impressed by him. So I do not think. I think that's just the best guy that they have there. But
Yeah,
he's
agreed.
not the best guy for them. And it's surprising to see that how Clemson has had its little downfall in the last couple of years. I mean, the first game of the season, they almost lost to NC. They beat NC State, but they almost lost to NC State. That was the game, and NC State's
Yeah,
a pretty good team. But I didn't even take it down, but the Alabama loss, that was a
yeah.
game. Did you watch? Oh, you weren't watching that game.
Not
So
when I
that's
wasn't watching.
my night was amazing. I watched the Phillies lose. I see Alabama lose. In my opinion, I was going back and forth. I'm like, fuck yes. Like I had Phillies on TV, Alabama on that thing. To see Alabama lose in such fashion with a gutsy play. Oh my God, who did they play? Why didn't I have
LSU.
that LSU? Why didn't I have that down as a score recap? I'm bugging. Um,
I Saving
tripping.
it for now.
Yeah, right. Seeing LSU score in
Yep.
overtime, say, you know what? And that's I hate that. Everyone knows like my play of hates. I hate the rollout to either side of the
Yep.
field and take away half the field. I hate that play with a passion. So once he did that, I was like, this is how you fucking lose the game. And
Yep.
seeing that they were able to convert like for a 2 point conversion and beat Alabama, I was like, holy shit, bro. In any other years, I've never seen Alabama lose 2 games in a year.
No.
I think
No.
the last time I remember them losing was against Auburn on that fluke field goal,
Yeah.
and then before that is this year. So I called my dad, and my dad's a huge Alabama fan.
Yeah.
He was at some event. I call him on FaceTime. I'm like, bro, are you watching? He's like, no, I'm not. What happened? I'm like, the Phillies just lost and Alabama just lost. He's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, Alabama just lost in overtime on a 2 point conversion. And he's like,
Yeah.
this is not real right now. And
Yeah.
I was amazed. Shout out to LSU, even though I hate LSU's coach. I hate him. I hated him at Notre
Yeah.
Dame. I don't think he should have a job. I was surprised to see that he got a job after
Hmm.
the fuckery of Notre Dame sucking pretty much. So it's always hate him. But shout out to LSU, baby.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not a big fan of his either. I guess we can't deny at this point he's a damn good coach. I mean,
Nah, hell no. That's recruiting of the school. That's past recruiting. That's past. But I do not take that from him. That's the remnants of our boy. What's his name?
yeah,
The
coach. Well, when Orgeron was there, I mean, Coach O. I mean, listen, he had the best team of college football history. First of all, to win a national championship. And then, yeah, I'm sure he recruited guys. It's all part of it. But, I mean, there's a reason he was fired. I mean, he had these same guys that he was working with. And he just didn't walk away. There's a reason he got fired. I think Brian Kelly turned – what's that?
Was his firing just?
Probably.
I don't think so.
When you're looking – again, all these teams in the SEC are compared to Alabama. And if you're not close to Alabama, then you're going to get out and we're going to find another way. Brian Kelly in his first year, as corny as he's been, he's kind of like the Russell Wilson of college head coaches. He's just doing whatever the hell to fit in. Like, it doesn't make any sense. But the dude can coach, and he laid it out on the line Saturday Night Football against Alabama to what you just said, hand them their second loss in the first time in how long. Put yourself in a position to now make the playoff again in a season where we kind of opened up and it was LSU. Let's kind of just see where they're at. Now I think they're 7th in the nation. So they have a legitimate chance of making the playoff.
Yeah, but then LSU they opened up with a with an L in their schedule. Like, they opened up the year. I remember it was a huge
I think Florida State.
Like,
yep.
They opened up. That was a crazy ass loss in their record.
It was.
So it's like, yeah, you have flukes that go back and forth. You know, you're beating Michigan State. You beat Auburn. You lose to Tennessee 40-13. Like, this team is all over the place. We'll see what he is next year. We'll see what it is next year.
Yeah. Yep. But it's crazy.
Yeah, this week was dope in my eyes. Next week we do have some games. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
Do you want to move on to finally something to talk about in the NFL?
Yeah.
Okay. We have the Eagles beat the Texans 29-17. Jets beat the Bills 20-17. Vikings beat the Commanders 20-17. Oh, that's crazy. It's a lot of 17s. Buccaneers beat the Rams 16-13. Chiefs beat the Titans 20-17. Ravens beat the Saints 27-13. Where would you like to begin, brother?
We can start with the GOAT down in Tampa. Doing it again.
Yeah, kick it off.
Doing it again. 1-0 since the divorce was finalized. Let's just put that out there.
2-0, baby. 2-0.
I watched
divorce.
Yes, I watched that game. Eagles played Thursday, so Sunday was kind of just watch around the league. That game was dog shit. I mean, both the Rams and the Buccaneers, two teams we thought might be battling at the very end, they just looked bad.
The Rams
but it got to the point where it was Tom Brady, less than a minute left, one timeout, and he drove down the field and did what he needed to do. I saw earlier today Matthew Stafford is in concussion protocol. I don't know what the hell is happening with the Rams. It seems like they're missing your boy Odell a little bit. The Buccaneers, I don't know really what this does for them, I guess, other than puts them at the top of a horrible division. So, listen, at the end of the day, Buccaneers may win only 8, maybe 9 games, but they're going to win that division. And when you're going up against Tom Brady, he's just showed Sunday there's still a little bit of Tom Brady there. And I also will say, a side note, I know I'm a big Tom Brady guy. I don't think all of the heat is put on him. I'm watching these receivers drop balls like it's their jobs. I'm watching these guys not be able to get open. There's no running game whatsoever. Fournette is running into a wall of defenders every time he touches the ball. I think Brady still has it. So if they can piece that O-line together a little bit and have these receivers kind of figure some things out, I wouldn't want to play him.
Yeah, I think all it does is boosts team morale. In my opinion, when you're going up a solid team and it's a dog fight, you both know you're not having a good year. It just boosts the morale and could possibly change the trajectory of a team with just having such a tough win and coming out successful on that end. And in my opinion, that's all I looked at that game as. It was a good game to watch, though. My actual it was on NBC, right? Like NBC, like for some reason, like with my cable, it just went out. Like in the middle of watching it, I was watching it, and it's just like I was like, "Oh, this is a good game." Like the chippiness, whatever, like that, off. Like I text you, it
Damn.
just went off. So I was watching it on like a legal website, and I'm like, I pay all this fucking money to watch
Yeah,
it, and I
seriously.
couldn't watch it there. One game that I'm upset I didn't watch. What happened with that Jets versus Bills game? Did you check that out?
Yeah, I did.
I love seeing Bills Mafia go down, in my opinion.
Dude, I listen. They've been a juggernaut this season.
Yeah.
Sauce Gardner, man. I think we've talked about him every single week. Dude is a stud cornerback. He's an absolute dog.
All the
I
Jets
mean,
really like that.
I think their defense is pretty damn good. It's just a matter of what their quarterback can do for him. I think he's
Yeah.
been struggling, Zach Wilson, but
Yeah.
their defense. I mean, listen, if you hold the Bills to 17 points, your props are due. And what are they, 6-3 now? So. I mean, they're winning games, and their defense looks legit. It seems like they're kind of taking hold of that head coach, Robert Saleh. Great defensive mind. They're taking the mold of his mind, man, and they're going out and doing it.
Okay. Yeah, I was really surprised to see that. I was like, damn, I gotta go back and watch some highlights.
Yeah.
My game takeaway of the week out of all these games that I truly love to watch was actually the Ravens Saints game. This game showed me how crazy my guy is with the Ravens. I am like Lamar Jackson. Seeing him play is like it is just amazing. I see like I mean I want to talk about Justin Fields as well. You sent me a text to talk about him, and
Yeah.
I see like this is the future, right? I could see him being the future of the Bears. They look at him as a Lamar Jackson and see what he can build on for that program. And it was amazing to see the way he plays, and his vision of the field is he plays hard, he plays smart quarterback. He's gonna keep you guys afloat. And I mean, I would love him as my quarterback. I don't see him going anywhere from the Ravens. I hope he has a long career. So I love him as a player, but I love how smart he is. He knows to extend plays and make easy little dump passes, and he could fucking throw the rock, bro. His arm is just ridiculous. I remember watching him at Louisville, and I was like, holy shit, I cannot believe how good this guy is. At Louisville. He brought Louisville out. Like, Louisville was nothing with him.
Wait, and now again, they're nothing, really.
Yeah, exactly. Where did Teddy Bridgewater go?
He was Louisville as well.
Louisville, too, yeah, like the both of those guys. So I love seeing that. A discussion I wanted to see. If you had to pick Lamar Jackson versus Hurts, who would you pick?
I guess.
And now, don't take it as Lamar where he's at today, Hurts where he's at. Put them at the same year,
Yeah, well, I mean that's tough. Honestly, I don't know. I mean, it's 1A, 1B. I think they both have similar mentalities. I think they both have similar skill sets. I'd probably ride with my guy Jalen Hurts
over Lamar.
Yeah,
that's just. Are you saying you're just being biased?
Probably a little bit. I mean, it's tough to say if they're both in year two. It's really tough to say. I'm going to have to see, maybe what's ahead of them. Probably Jalen Hurts.
Year two, you're taking Hurts.
Yeah.
Off arm alone and accuracy and playmaking ability, I'm taking. I'm not. There's no chance I'm taking Hurts in that. Off an arm alone, you wanted to get Hurts off the fucking Eagles.
Yeah,
Lamar and that's got a league. That's
fair. I think when it comes to turning the ball over and ball security, I would give Hurts the nod. And then again, I think in terms of who I feel more comfortable, we talked about these quarterbacks who are changing the game, running outside the pocket, using their legs. I do think that Hurts, not to say Lamar's not, but I do think Hurts is smarter in protecting himself, which may help him in longevity. The best ability is availability, right? So I think that Lamar, it's tough. I love how he plays with his head down. Would like him to see maybe be a little bit more careful. But it's tough to say. Yeah, it might be biased, but I got to ride with my guy.
I mean, you look at size too. I don't know how big. I mean, Jalen's a tank in comparison to Lamar.
Yeah, that's true.
So he could take those things, but I would take Lamar any day.
I don't think there's a wrong answer. I don't.
That's a wrong answer. I think you asked 9 out of 10 will say Lamar, and you're the one Eagles fan who would say Hurts.
Well, there you go. One of them's 8-0 right now. So
we should have called Javon for this one.
Yeah.
Two Bias fans, who do they pick? We said in the past how boring the NFL has been. This week it's been getting a little more chippy. I like seeing how chippy it's getting. It's starting to get into that. It's starting to get colder. People knowing the season's coming. It's getting closer to February, December time. So I love to see it. What we're not taught, we did touch on a little bit, is Justin Fields.
Mm-hmm.
You know how I rock. I'm gonna rock with Justin Fields to the day I die. And I was trying to get to Justin Fields when he was in the draft, and with the Cowboys, we could have fucking drafted him. I wanted to draft him. I'm like, fuck it, take this dude under our wings. And if Dak does Dak, we'll pick him. I'm okay with having him in there because I know how smart of a player he is and how he develops. I think the only thing that I could see him lacking in is the mental ability to showcase to the public. And what I mean by that is when he is on the field, you see frustration in him.
Yep.
Like, he doesn't hide it. You could tell he's frustrated. Like, these motherfuckers suck. Like, I'm out here balling myself and my team fucking sucks. So, in my opinion, can I be mad at him? No. But also, you keep that in as a quarterback. You rock with your team regardless of where they are in that position. And I would say now for the Bears, it's time to go draft some players around him. This is your guy. This is who will be your franchise guy. He's showing you what the fuck it is. I mean, that run that he had, if you're not talking about that run in general, like, that, you have to remember these are NFL guys. This is a guy just out of college. Like, he's running all over NFL pro guys and running away from NFL pro guys. That's what's important. Running away from with strides. So I think we need to start talking about the Bears. If you want a quarterback, if you don't want your city fucking demise again, go get those key players around him.
Definitely. I think, dude, I can't imagine being a Bears fan because it seems like it's about time that you're using this guy. Like the two we just talked about, Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts. Look at how these offenses are built around them. Use the damn legs that you have in front of you. Use that athletic ability. It seems like they haven't been doing that in the past couple of weeks. They finally are. And this dude's doing whatever the hell he wants, like you just said, against an NFL team. So it's about time that they are utilizing the talent that they have, like the talent that he is. And it's cool to see.
It's not play calling, though, bro. It's not play calling. It's run for his life. That's what I'm saying. It's not play calling.
I think there has been a shift in play calling, more towards his legs. Where again, maybe the play calling was more of be a pocket passer, and he needed to escape for his life. Now it's let's get him in motion, do what he does best, so then he really doesn't have to as much. 100%. This O-line sucks. The receivers are nothing, and they just put 32 points against a playoff team.
Yeah. I'm gonna be happy for the big Ohio State guys. So we'll see where it goes. I think the biggest news in NFL right now is Jeff Saturday. And when I saw that Jeff Saturday was hired as the interim head coach of the Colts, damn, I have a boy who's a huge Colts fan. Damn, rest in peace to my guy Tyron. He's a huge Colts fan as well. So to see that the Colts made a decision and only time I think about Jeff Saturday is that sound effects between him and Peyton Manning arguing about play calling. It's like, now he's calling the fucking plays, right? And I wonder how we'll talk about it too with Peyton Manning. But when you never see a player or interim coach come in that is not the offensive coordinator or is not coaching at the moment with the team. This is out of left field. And I feel like the coach is just looking up and is like, I mean, the owner's like, who am I going to bring in? Jeff Saturday. Like, he just picked out of the fucking. I want to know his rationale for doing this. What is your take, man?
It's funny. I mean, tell me you're tanking without telling me you're tanking.
Yeah,
you can't. I mean, this can't happen. You have coaches in that building that have been working, their entire careers to get this chance, and you're calling a dude up out of the blue who's working for ESPN and saying, "Hey, like, do you want to come play head coach?" Who's going to call plays? What systems are they going to run? Because they fired their offensive coordinator 2 weeks ago. They fired now their head coach. So what the hell are they going to do? It only makes sense now that they're going to win on Sunday. You know that. But it's just like I don't really recall seeing such an out of the blue situation like this. And the Colts seemed like a well-run organization. That thing's fallen to shit, man. If I'm a Colts fan today, I don't know what the hell I'm thinking.
I mean, you thought you had it with you have quarterbacks coming in. I was like, oh, this is gonna be a good turnaround for them. Doesn't go their way. So I mean that franchise are like, yo, we need to restart, a hard new head coach,
That,
a hard new
yeah.
everything. Let's just fucking tank this year.
Yeah, this was a move that said, "Hey Jeff, we'd love for you to coach out the rest of the year. We're trying to get C.J. Stroud, so do whatever the hell you want."
What do you think Peyton Manning is saying?
I don't know, man. There's been, ever since he retired, there's been talks of him, working with front offices, and he's a great football mind. Who knows? Maybe they said, "Hey, at the end of this year, Peyton, come on in. Your boy's the head coach. We'll draft a new quarterback and we'll roll this way." Who knows what that? There has to be. You would think there has to be some sort of plan, but I mean, we've seen stupid shit happen.
Now that I think about it, it could be they asked Peyton first, and he's like, "I'm not making my head coaching debut in this manner. Like, you're not about to make me.
It could be that
come out and be a head coach with a losing team, and then now that's on my record forever. My first year was
exactly.
But yeah, that could be it as well. That's
never know.
I would be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
One of the things that was a funny takeaway for me was AJ Brown was fined $5,000, he said, for each point. And he's like, I won't be doing that again. Are you fucking crazy?
The NFL, no fun league. That's what it is.
Bro.
It's
why? We go from in COVID, we have players running 99 yards to a camera if it was a pick, to now that they can't. It's what do they call like if you stand over a player, you're not. It's not targeting. But what the fuck are we doing, bro? Like these refs need to come together and have a talk on the offseason or offseason. I don't know what it is, but that's football. If I can't stare you, like that's in the NBA, can you imagine how many texts will go out for staring down someone? That's the league.
Understand. I really don't understand. Like, what are you telling me? These professional athletes' feelings are getting hurt? Like, what are we doing?
That's the league.
I get it if it's something maybe like derogatory, anything in that regard. But I mean, let's be honest. The dude just scored his third touchdown and is letting you know about it. That's what sports is. If you have a problem with it, line up again and do something about it.
Yeah.
To flag him and fine him, man, I don't know. It's ridiculous. And like you said, now what you're going to get is these guys scoring touchdowns, hand the ball to the ref, and running back to the sideline. It's just boring. Like, that's not what sports is. Like, they're supposed to be fun. They're supposed to, again, we talk about it all the time, these guys that have these emotions and competitive drives, like, when you do something in that manner, you deserve to taunt. You deserve to let it out and show your swag. So I don't know. I think it's bullshit, and it's a shame because AJ Brown's going to be scoring a lot more touchdowns. Yeah. So
I mean, when you think of scoring, he didn't walk in the end zone. He scored in the end zone off a catch, off of double coverage.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about? Like, as a point, I did more egregious shit in fucking high school.
Yeah.
Like, are you fucking kidding me? I was teabagging kids on the fucking
I was going to say, it's not like he's going up to him and doing that.
Yeah, like, this is just, I mean, it's just, I hate that shit. You can't stare down someone. Like, if I truck you, I'm stepping over you and staring you down. If AP trucked you, that motherfucker was talking so much. Like, I hate this shit now. It's like, back in days, like, you can't dance. Now you used to be able to taunt. But now you can't, you could dance and do a whole performance. The Eagles did a whole fucking skit. But you can't taunt and point. Did you guys get a flag on that?
Exactly. No, didn't get a flag on that. I saw this past weekend the Vikings, I think, got an interception and had the entire defense line up, and they did a whole bowling skit with the football. And they all felt, so, no flag. And which is, again, that's awesome. That is what sports are supposed to be. Bring more of that. But, I don't know. You would think out of the two, out of pointing and out of doing a whole fucking dance routine, if anything, neither should be, but if anything, the dancing probably would be your excessive celebration.
Because in my opinion, that's just time. You're taking up a lot of time.
Exactly.
That's all I think is like, all right, you're taking up time of progression of the game. That's it. Like, that's the only reason I would give like those little long skits. But I mean, speaking of like the skits, what's been your favorite celebration so far to see?
Oh man. I don't know. I guess probably the stomp the yard that the Eagles did a few weeks ago, I think I'm excited. I'm excited to see what more. I feel like we had that one year that every team was doing something at all times, and I feel like it's bringing it back a little bit more. So I hope we see some more.
I mean, it was the COVID year, like the COVID year when
Yeah, I
no
think,
one's
yeah, or maybe
yeah,
even right before that, like the year
yeah.
right before. Dude's going crazy.
I mean, as a biased fan, like I always love the first
Oh
down
yeah,
from CD. That's always nasty to me. That shit's
yeah,
just fire.
yeah.
I actually do like the waddle. They do like the penguin
That's
waddle.
tough. That
That
is tough.
joint is tough. I'm over the gritty. I'm over the gritty. Oh
Yeah,
my god! Speaking of the gritty, we didn't talk about. I was about to move on. The Vikings.
the
We're
swaggiest
not
quarterback in the league.
the swaggiest quarterback. Do you like that with
Yeah,
Kirk Cousins? It's hilarious to me to see. I know some Vikings fans, which is crazy. I was always surprised that when I see a Vikings fan, why the fuck are you a Vikings fan?
yeah,
Um,
that's weird.
Seeing that the Vikings are doing so well this year, I haven't been paying attention. I've just been seeing each weekend and week out. They're
Yeah,
celebrating
they're
on the
winning.
plane and they're having some fun with it. And I'm like, oh, they're like that. What has been? I gotta look up their schedule. What has been their schedule?
Well, their only loss has come to yours truly. Monday Night Football beatdown, which again is weird because the Eagles haven't played anybody, but we'll save that discussion. No, the Vikings,
Wait, what week
they're
was that? You said
week 2 Monday night. We throttled them, never close,
that was week two,
and
though, bro.
oh, it's the same.
Week,
They haven't lost a game otherwise, and they got embarrassed on Monday Night Football.
I mean,
But
they haven't played. Now, okay, you want to know what's tough? Next week they play Vikings versus Bills. Let's see if this shit's for real.
and it's going to be interesting because Josh Allen is questionable, I believe, with an elbow
Oh,
injury. But their quarterback, the backup quarterback, is Case Keenum, which was the one that took them to the NFC Championship game.
yeah,
Case Keenum and Stephon Diggs, that Minneapolis Miracle,
yeah.
both on the Bills, could have a little revenge game.
That's hilarious. Oh, yeah. That's I forget he's probably
That'd
coming from
be
there.
that'd be
I
fun.
mean, they don't have no crazy wins. I mean, they beat the Packers with 23.
Yeah, Packers. Yeah.
They lose to you guys legit the same way they beat the Packers, 24-7.
Mm-hmm.
Close one with the Lions. Close one with the Saints. Close one with the Bears. Close one with the Dolphins. They beat the Cardinals and close one with the Commanders. So it's a winning. Like it's a close wins. But I would love to see how they respond this week.
Yeah, and it's going to be. And listen, at the end of the day, again, because I've had this argument with the Eagles schedule. You play who's on your schedule, and we just saw. I mean, we see every single week these upsets that happen. Right, the Lions just beat the Packers. We talked about the Jets and the Bills. Like shit happens that you never see coming until it happens.
Yeah.
So if a team is winning and taking care of business, like the Eagles, like the Vikings have been, can't take too much away from them. If they get exposed later, they do. But I think as of right now, they're playing who they're supposed to, and they're winning against who they're supposed to.
Yeah,
So
yeah, exactly. That's
listen,
perfect.
it's showing because Kirk Cousins is one of these guys that has been labeled as, if not labeled as, he has just been a mediocre quarterback his entire career. They're winning, and that team is clearly, I don't know if they're messing with him with like these chains that he's wearing, and it's like, yo, there's our dorky friend we're making fun of, or they're just actually getting along, and it's dangerous, man. If a team like that bonds that well, I mean, inside of a locker room, it's going to translate.
I mean, he's always had a little edge about him, right? And I was watching Bustin' with the Boys, and they were talking about Kirk Cousins and how he has he kind of set a new precedent in the league with like being able to go to other places and get top notch contracts and move the market. Like he's been behind the scenes, he's been moving the cap market around. I don't know too much information about it, but people are recognizing Kirk Cousins for what he's doing for getting his payout. He's been making his money. So I think that it's just a team swagger. They love to see the team always has had swagger, and with the Vikings, the gritty, the dancing, they all have had swagger. So I love seeing the Vikings swagger. So this is a week I'm definitely going to check that Bills game out. That's something definitely to watch. Anything else to hit on in the NFL?
No, I mean, again, the Thursday night game last week, Eagles took care of business. Got Washington on Monday Night Football. I think that's going to be another win, and we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, we I don't see you guys having an issue with them. I would love to see an upset happen with you guys. We have a big one coming up this week, that's for sure, Ski. Seeing it, how we're going to battle against the Packers.
Yeah, I think it's going to – I mean, the Packers right now look like shit, so it's going to be interesting to see how they handle Dallas coming into Lambeau Field.
I mean, I feel like no matter what, it's a big – for some reason it's always – I mean, I know why. It's a big rivalry game, so it can go either way, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Funny sports. I think the only thing I really had was, did you see that Sean McVay interview on Barstool Sports?
I saw a bit of it.
Hilarious. Like it was pretty funny what
He's
I
funny.
saw.
He's
Yeah.
the guy that does those interviews. He's
Yeah, the
funny.
guy with the long hair on Barstool
Yeah,
Sports. He
yeah,
always gets people. He's fucking hilarious. And
yeah.
the way he put Sean McVay in the blender, like all the media training he did, he was like, "Yo, this is good. Like this is you're getting me here." Like he was tricked up. So that was funny to see. Anything you saw?
No, I think well, maybe right now it's just a Twitter thing with the Elon Musk and verification. I think you're going to see. I've already seen shit of people buying the check mark and changing
Yeah.
their profile. I just saw a LeBron James retiring tweet. That's going to be funny, but I think a lot of people are going to maybe get tripped up with what's real and what's fake.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Twitter is in itself going to be. Twitter is my favorite app. When people
Yeah, I
tell
agree.
people that, they're like, really? I'm like, bro, Twitter is fucking hilarious. Most of the
It
funny
is.
stuff you see comes from Twitter first, and then it goes out
Yep.
there. I love
Yep.
Twitter. What I'm looking forward to next week is I know I don't see Michigan having a problem, but Michigan versus Nebraska, solely because I'm invested into the Bussin' Bowl. So I'm bussing with the boys, a
Right.
podcast through Barstool Sports with Taylor Wan and Will Compton. Will Compton went to Nebraska.
Yes.
Taylor Wan went to Michigan. So they're actually going to be at the game on the sideline. They have made a trophy to give to the winner because they want to start up a bowl game for these two teams while they played out. So I'm excited to watch that game because I know I can't wait to see what they talk about in the next episode of the podcast. No matter what, it's always a good time to watch Alabama versus Ole Miss. It's always good to see Lane Kiffin come back and with Nick Saban.
Yep.
So I'm excited to see that. My opinion, the big time game, 7:30 TCU versus Texas. We're going to see where that one goes. That's going to be a huge game to watch as well. And then as moving to the NFL, Vikings versus Bills at 1, and then Cowboys Packers at 4:25, and then Monday night I'm excited to see the Eagles versus Commanders. Those are the games I'm looking forward to watching this weekend. Fuck. I have a wedding to go to this weekend. Oh, I grew busting with the boys. If you have a fucking wedding,
I
in
knew
the
exactly
fall,
where you were going. You
you're an
cannot
asshole.
do it. Yeah,
You
yeah.
can't do it, bro. I love the fall. My birthday's in October. I love the fall. I love everything about the fall. I'm checking schedules I'm as far as advanced as I can, or like I don't know. I just think it's a bad move. And Saturday at 3, bro.
It's a crime. It's a crime. Weddings during the fall. I mean, listen. If you have it, that's fine. But just expect my phone to be on the table and me watching the game.
It is like I'm upset. You don't have nothing at the. You don't if the TV's not on at the bar. I get upset. But, hey, my phone's on the table at all times. I'm watching all the games. I can't tell you how many games I've watched at event tables on the weekends. So I'm going down to Salisbury, Maryland. My boy's getting married.
Congratulations.
His soon to be wife's last name is Piazza or something like that, but it's spelled pizza. And then his last name is Man. So they're combining it to be pretty much Pizza Man.
Really?
So even though it's pronounced something different, I'm like, that's fucking pizza, bro. No one's saying Piazza. Like, it's fuck that. I was like, so he's combining. I was like, in any other setting, that's the only time I'm a macho man. I would never, like, I don't even want Kat hyphenating her name. I want her to, like, yo, your last name's going. Howard. That's the only time where I'm like, as a man, that's fire as fuck to put Pizza Man as your last name. We normally never take your woman's last name, but I'll take that one.
That's funny as shit. Well, congratulations to them.
Yes, sir. Anything you're looking forward to, my brother?
Yeah, I think you just touched on it. I think the big one this weekend is TCU Texas. TCU is in a position now where they control their own destiny. If they win out, they're in the playoff. I know we touched on the betting thing, but Texas is a touchdown favorite, which is really weird to me. So definitely going to be something to look out for. It looks like Vegas thinks Texas is going to take them down. So interested to see. It's in Texas, but I mean, within the same state, I'm sure TCU is going to have some fans come out and represent. But
not in Texas, not in Texas. That's a Longhorn Hook'em. That's a stadium for them.
It's going to be. I'm very interested to see how a team that maybe weren't expecting to be in this position that they're in, how they handle it, and see if they can again control their own destiny and make it in the playoff.
Yeah. Yeah, sounds good to me, man. Well, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Trust Sports. Again, my name is Malik Howard. I got my boy always, Liam in the building, co-host. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. Please go watch our last episode as well as the new episode with Roy that just came out within real estate. It was a great conversation and definitely want everyone to soak that game up and keep supporting. Thank you, guys.
Yes, sir. Peace, League.
All right, bro.